So welcome to the Mayan Dream Spell. In these videos, we're looking at the waves of the evolution of consciousness as looked at through the Mayan Dream Spell calendar. So this is a 260-day cycle called the Tzolk'in, which tracks the evolutionary impulses that come from the center of the galaxy according to the Maya. Now, as we look at this 260-day cycle, which interestingly is about 9 months, give or take, it's pretty close to the birthing cycle of a human. And so as we look through this 260-day cycle, it is made up of 20 wave spells. So 20 periods of 13 days. And each of these wave spells, they carry a specific theme that is really important in understanding what it takes to evolve something from an idea, from a kind of inspiration into an actual manifestation. And, we often just think, you have a bit of fun, you get pregnant, baby comes out. But along the way, the mothers out there will be especially aware of this because it's happening in their womb, in their body. Along the way, so many phases, so many processes, so many things happen to that fetus as it moves along that journey before it comes out as that miraculous, creature that we get to then take and, like a Kinder Egg, watch grow into a human, a unique expression of consciousness. And so in this 260-day cycle, being that we have these themes, what's really interesting about today's report here is that today is the red magnetic dragon. What this means is that we have just begun the Red Dragon Wavespell, which also means that we have just begun a whole new 9-month or 260-day cycle of the Tzolk'in. And what's really interesting with this is it means that for the last 9 months, we've just closed up, we've just stitched up everything we've been working on for the last 9 months. And now, for the next 13 days starting today, we're being invited to come into nurturing, come into presence, into giving space for something to be birthed into your world, something new to turn up. So this doesn't mean that, you're going to change jobs, that everything's going to be turned upside down and something completely new is coming. But the idea now during this Red Dragon Wavespell is instead of trying to logically and mentally chase where you think things are going, but rather clear the deck, make some space. There's this thing, often when a mother is about to have a baby in that last kind of stages, they begin to go into the nesting phase. So you might have heard of the nesting phases where the mother, and often, the father with it, they're excited, there's this new baby coming. They begin to, work on the baby's room. They prepare it. They get all the cot and all the different things they're going to use or whatever they're using with their style of parenting. They begin to prepare the world for that child's arrival. And so in that sense, over this next 2 weeks, we've got a really beautiful opportunity instead of running and chasing what we think is coming, but rather clean house, come home, reset, have a look at your behavioral patterns, have a look at your addictions, have a look at your distractions in life and where you're putting your energy. And instead of trying to anticipate what's coming, spend some time actually nesting, preparing, looking after yourself, opening yourself, letting go of any preconceived ideas of how the birth needs to happen. And most likely, you'll probably receive a bit of inspiration over this next 2 weeks as to exactly, see the kangaroos jumping. Oh, how beautiful is that? In the sunset, a couple of kangaroos just ran past, and the little kitty just ran past my legs. And speaking of which, actually, the video at the beginning of this would have shown you a couple of kangaroos in my backyard. And one of those, you probably couldn't see it in the video, actually had a joey, a little baby in her pouch, which I thought was pretty appropriate. We're blessed in this backyard. But back to the topic. We're here to give birth to a new idea now. So there's a good chance that however you've been seeing what you're working on, a project you might be working on, a job you're in, a relationship, etc., even though you may feel like you know where it's going, by giving some space and just caring and coming back and really nurturing yourself, give yourself a space where you can allow new ideas to come, and you might find a reimagining of what it is you thought you knew was coming, and be surprised with a whole new birthing of a new idea, a new concept, or a new twist to how you go about life, how you go about the projects you're working on, whatever's coming. And so with that, during this Red Dragon, one thing that kind of really landed for me as an analogy as well is that during the birthing process, we can become very sensitive because birth has contractions, right? So often life will push us with discomfort to try and highlight where we are out of alignment with our natural path, in a sense, where we belong in the world. And so rather than getting upset at the world around you, you know, oh, look at this. Look at this big guy. There's another one behind me. Oh, they're all running around now. Oh, God, I love sunset here in West Australia. Now I've lost what I was saying. So yes, as we go through the birthing process, there will be contractions, but those contractions are there to help get your idea into place. Sometimes you might find some resistance around you, some things that are really uncomfortable during this Red Dragon period. And it's really just asking for you to, you know, clear the way for this new idea, this new thing that you're going to be birthing. Because whatever comes through in the next 2 weeks is going to be a very potent part of what you're working on for the next 9 months as a whole. And when I was thinking about this process, it got me thinking about, you know, the butterfly, the old caterpillar butterfly analogy. And most people are aware of, you know, this idea of a caterpillar, you know, it goes into the cocoon and then it comes out a butterfly. But when that caterpillar goes into that cocoon, it's a really important analogy to contemplate, because when it goes in there, the caterpillar doesn't know it's going to become a butterfly. It's not consciously thinking that, okay, I will go into this cocoon, I will surround myself in darkness because I know I'm becoming a butterfly. It just has an impulse that it needs to do that. In the same way that a mother, when a baby is coming, has this impulse to nest, to create this womb-like space, to be nurtured, you know, for this baby to be born. And so when the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, it begins to break down its old structures, and these imaginal cells begin to appear within the caterpillar's, you know, cellular structure. These imaginal cells, which is their scientific name, start turning up. And the old caterpillar fights against these because it's scared of what's new. It's scared of its own death. But its own death is essential for those imaginal cells to bring the dreaming of the butterfly into its structure so that it can really fully manifest it. And in that same way, you might find some resistance to what turns up over the next 2 weeks. You know, those old survival structures that you've developed over the years, that we've all developed, that our society together has developed, are going to be challenged by needing to receive these new ideas that can seem like they're going to actually bring the end of what we've believed in for so long, the end of what we've been used to and how we've done things. So the more we can surrender and the more we can just allow this birthing process through really nurturing ourselves, you know, run a salt bath, or, you know, have a little extra longer in the shower maybe, you know, take a moment to meditate, to read, to just whatever warms your soul. Maybe it's sitting by the fire with a glass of red wine and just reading a good book, or a conversation with a friend and just contemplating. And the more open you can be over these next 2 weeks, the clearer and easier and the less painful the birthing process will be of what it is that is going to be your focus for the next 9. So I wish you a beautiful birthing process. May the cosmos midwife your journey, and please do join in, comment below. I'd love to hear what's birthing for you during this 2 weeks, you know, as you move through it, and I'll make sure to engage and keep the conversation on. And if you haven't seen, and if you're not watching this on BitClout, then there is links below where you can go to bitclout.com and you'll be able to follow me on the Mayan Dream Spell and engage with me there as well. So sending all my love, and we'll see you in the next video.